Let's screw this. So here it is, the Phone 1. Not to be confused with the original Nothing Phone 1, because this is the CMF Phone 1 from Nothing's sub-brand. There's a lot of hype, a lot of intrigue, and of course, a lot of controversy around this phone. So let me break all of that down for you. Quite literally. Hi, I'm Arshad. You're watching Trakin English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. I don't care what anyone says. I love this exposed screws design. It puts the industry in industrial design. Also, I really like this camera module as well. I think Rakesh from Gyan Therapy doesn't as much. But that's the thing about design. It's subjective. You might like it, you might not like it. There's another element at the bottom. Initially, everyone thought this was a volume knob, but no. It's basically a screw for external accessories. So you remove this and you can attach the accessories that Nothing has made for you guys. There's a lanyard loop, there's a card case, and there's a phone stand as well. The lanyard is of extremely good quality, but it's not a tiny lanyard. It's like a lanyard that you wear like a bag, a satchel bag across your body. It's a trend that I've noticed in other Western countries, but imagine this. If somebody in India were to wear their phone like that and walk out on the streets, gone. The phone's gonna be stolen. While the lanyard's good, the card case is of very bad quality. I wouldn't buy it. Now, talking about that phone stand, it's gonna be very useful. You don't need a separate case for it. You can just attach the accessory. Especially in long flights, it can come in handy. But if you were to keep that phone stand attached and put it inside your pocket, then it'll create a bulge. And if you were to meet somebody, they would be like, hey, are you happy to see me? Alright, now for the final element. With the exposed screws, you can actually remove the back panel and change it to a color of your choice. You have the black, you have this orange, you have a light green, and an India special blue color. But the fundamental problem is that the phone is available to buy only in the black option. Which means, say for example, if you want to have an orange back, you will have to buy the black phone and the orange case separately. Very smart business move by Nothing. I must tell you guys that. Despite that, I will say this outright. I like this design ideology even better than the glyph lights. In fact, when I met Akis, I told him, listen, put this on the Phone 3. But unfortunately, it cannot happen because the Phone 3 cannot come with a plastic back and IP52 rating. By the way, there are a couple of problems. The Phone 1 does feel dense and heavier than the iQOO Z9 or the Realme Narzo 70 Pro. Also, since there are so many elements in the rear, when you're holding the phone, it does feel irritable sometimes. However, I must say this orange variant has a vegan leather texture. The other ones have a different coarse plastic texture. I like this one better. Overall though, when it comes to the design, I'd be surprised if the CMF Phone 1 doesn't win a Red Dot award. And when you compare this design to these designs, well, this one stands out. Now the display is your standard 6.67-inch LTPS Super AMOLED panel. And you get 120Hz of refresh rate, 2000 nits of peak brightness, which is good, and 700 nits in HBM mode. Since it's been all gloomy here, thanks to the rains, we couldn't take it out, but still 700 nits outdoors is pretty good. But when we tested it indoors playing HDR video on YouTube, the CMF Phone 1 has the brightest display of the three, followed by iQOO and finally Realme. But yeah, you do not get Netflix HDR support on Phone 1 and Realme. Now the haptic feedback, if you ask me, well, it's mostly terrible on budget phones. It's true for even the CMF Phone 1, the Narzo 70 Pro, and the iQOO Z9. But the bigger letdown is that the CMF Phone 1 has a mono speaker. It sounds okay, and when you compare it to the iQOO Z9, which sounds fantastic, it just falls flat. Anyway, take a listen to all the three yourself and let me know what you guys think. Alright, before I move on to talk about the performance of these three phones, tons of you watch our videos but don't really subscribe. If you give us a support, it'd be great. Hit that subscribe button, we're trying to hit 1 million soon. So for those who don't know, the new MediaTek Dimensity 7300 inside the CMF Phone 1 is actually underpowered compared to the Dimensity 7200 inside the iQOO Z9. MediaTek 7300 comes after 7200. I think your team that finalized this name needs to know that. But the Dimensity 7300 uses a new 4nm fabrication process, so it's definitely better than the Dimensity 7050 inside the Narzo 70 Pro. And all of this is evident from the Antutu scores that we got. iQOO scored the highest, followed by CMF, and finally Realme. And it was awesome to see that iQOO had no throttling detected after our 40-thread 30-minute CPU throttle test. Realme came in second at 91% stability and CMF came in last at 86%. But those are benchmarks. However, in real world, the situation was slightly different because we played Genshin Impact for 30 minutes at highest graphics and 60 frames per second. And you know what? The CMF Phone 1 gave us the highest average FPS. I actually expected the iQOO Z9 to score the highest. It came in second, and of course Realme came in last. That's not it. In general, what I noticed is that CMF runs far smoother and faster in daily usage, especially when you're using the operating system compared to the other two phones. You know what? Let me show it to you guys. Open the YouTube app and scroll the app on all the three phones and you will notice stutters on iQOO and Realme. CMF is so smooth. Technically, the Dimensity 7300 is a pretty decent chip and CMF has tuned it really well. By the way, for network capability on the CMF Phone 1, you get support for 9 5G bands, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.3, but no NFC, which was a huge bummer. Now let me talk about battery life. And the battery life has been fantastic on the CMF Phone 1. I'm easily getting 7 to 8 hours of screen on time from the phone. Plus you get support for 33-watt charging, which is not too great if you ask me. Because when you look at the Realme Narzo 70 Pro, you get 67-watt charging speeds and iQOO also gives you 44-watt charging speeds. And Realme and Narzo also give you similar battery life. The Phone 1 has a basic camera setup, a 50MP camera on the rear and a 16MP camera for selfies. And of course, there's that 2MP depth sensor for better portraits. Well, we tested it out and the portraits are pretty average, truth be told. You can see edge detection issues and contrast heavy skin tones as well. I mean, it's not like the Narzo and iQOO are any better either. All three are equally bad. But the 2x portraits, while they do have a better cutout on the CMF Phone 1, the skin tones are still pretty bad and little too contrast heavy. Truth be told, I'm just disappointed with the portraits that I captured with all the three phones. They're all bad. But skin tones in non-portrait shots are very close to neutral on Narzo. Plus, you get more details. Now, between iQOO and CMF, I prefer CMF here. What's really good on CMF though is the HDR performance. Primarily because it has a good balance of shadows and highlights. Narzo is slightly darker in the shadows. iQOO has a problem with target HDR. I got two extremely underexposed shots and finally I had to tap to get the exposure right and the resulting image was too flat and devoid of shadows if you ask me. Realme does offer more details in daylight thanks to the larger sensor, but here's the kicker. CMF's daylight landscape shots do have a lot of details and sharp textures as well. It is better than the iQOO Z9 for sure, which was a surprise to me. Now Realme is also accurate with the color reproduction. It's a little flat and slightly lifeless, but it's close to how these colors look in real life. CMF gets it completely wrong, so does iQOO in vivid and in natural mode, both. In low light, I expected Narzo 70 Pro to be the best considering it has IMX 890, but the iQOO Z9's low light algorithm is better. This shows that pairing the IMX 890 with the Dimensity 7050 was not really a good idea. By the way, Realme is the only phone of the three which has an ultra-wide angle camera and it's serviceable. Also, Realme's selfie camera performance in daylight is really good. Whether you're shooting selfies in even lighting conditions, portraits, or even HDR, Realme's skin tones and details are much better than the other two. iQOO is the second best here and CMF, oh my god, it's actually very bad. In fact, it's even worse in low light, by the way. But between iQOO and CMF, I think iQOO takes better selfies in low light. But keep this in mind, in iQOO, don't switch on the night mode when you're taking selfies because it does this extreme night mode and it looks really bad. Now, where CMF wins fair and square is in rear camera video recording. You just get much better quality 4K 30 FPS video with stabilization compared to the other two. iQOO Z9 would be my second favorite because while it has a lot of focus hunting issues, it has the best sound quality of the three. Take a listen to it for yourself.
Alright, so now I'm recording a 4K 30 FPS video. Alright, so now I'm recording a 4K 30 FPS video. 4K 30 FPS video using the Narzo 70 Pro. I'm walking.
Now compared to iQOO and CMF, Realme has the worst 4K 30 FPS footage here. Now while the CMF Phone 1 can record using the selfie camera at 1080p 60 FPS, it has the same problems we saw in photo capture. Soft skin, pink skin tones, and just generally not very good. Now as you can tell, it was a mixed bag testing these cameras because there are inconsistent results all across. But if I had to pick one phone as the winner, I'd pick the Narzo 70 Pro. Between CMF and iQOO, it's a tie. I'm saying this outright, Nothing OS 2.6 based on Android 14 is easily the best operating system experience on a phone under ₹20,000. You're also promised 2 + 3 years of software updates on the phone. The same is true for Realme and the same is true for iQOO. But what sets Nothing OS 2.6 apart are many things actually. Firstly, it's a bloatware-free, clean operating system experience. Realme UI and FunTouch OS are riddled with bloatware apps. It's also got a very unique design language which we've spoken at length about. You get the dot matrix apps, the dot matrix font, and apart from that, you've got the monochrome monochrome look, which I really like. There are large folders. You can set custom icons to large folders. Plus, quick settings. Oh my god, quick settings are awesome. You can keep the quick settings on the lock screen and you can keep the quick settings on the home screen, which means that you have immediate access to switching on Wi-Fi. You can switch off hotspot. You can do whatever you want to with it. But one thing I noticed is that despite having an AMOLED display, the CMF Phone 1 doesn't have always on display. By the way, if you want to call record without intimating the person on the other end, you can do that using the widget on the home screen. Don't do that, but if you want to, you can. There's another new feature where you get some sort of generative AI wallpaper theming. So yeah, surprised me, it was really cool. Plus, the animations for a phone that costs under rupees 18,000 is absolutely. Honestly, I'm not getting into the details of FunTouch OS and Realme UI, but Nothing OS is just better. Those two don't match up. So the CMF Phone 1's strong point is, of course, its class-leading industrial design, right? But it's not just about that. Because what I enjoyed more on this is the software experience, which is gobsmackingly good. Also, I actually think that the Dimensity 7300 inside the phone is a pretty decent SoC for this price range, despite MediaTek's stupid naming scheme. Finally, Nothing has priced it right. 15,999 for the 6GB variant and 17,999 for the 8GB variant. And I think they have some special offers coming as well. But the compromises can be a bit too much. For example, the lack of OIS, the fact that it has a mono speaker, the camera performance is average, and every single accessory has to be purchased separately, including that 33-watt Nothing charger. In fact, you can see the price of all the accessories right here, and I definitely think that the price of the rear panels are slightly on the higher side. So I wouldn't call the CMF Phone 1 an outright winner in this very crowded, Indian smartphone market. But for all the friends and family who would want a phone under 20,000 with a good design and a clean software experience, I'm going to be recommending this to them. Alright, let me know your thoughts about the CMF Phone 1 in the comments. I'd love to know your take. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.
Ashad, should we compare this with the Not Safe for Light?
No.